Say it again. My mother's voice cuts through the dining room like a blade. Her finger shakes as she points at me, and the entire table goes silent. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone freezes mid-bite. You will never amount to anything, Amina. Do you hear me? Never. The words hang in the air, heavy and final. She doesn't whisper it. She doesn't pull me aside. She announces it like a verdict with 20 relatives as witnesses. My chest tightens. My throat closes. I feel my face burning as every eye turns toward me. Someone coughs awkwardly. My cousin stares at her plate. Nobody speaks up. Nobody defends me. My mother continues, her voice rising. I'm done wasting money on your ridiculous dreams. Done supporting this nonsense. You're on your own now. I stand up slowly, my legs shaking. I don't cry. I don't argue. I just walk out, feeling their stares burning into my back. The front door slams behind me, and I stand on the porch, trembling with humiliation and rage. What the hell just happened to me? I sit in my car for an hour, replaying her words on a loop. My hands grip the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turn white. That sentence doesn't feel like anger. It feels like a curse. You will never amount to anything. She said it with such certainty, such finality. Like she'd been holding it in for years and finally let it explode. I drive to my tiny apartment, the one she's always mocked for being too small. I lock the door and slide down against it, pulling my knees to my chest. That's when it hits me, this wasn't spontaneous. This was planned. She'd been building to this moment for months, maybe years. Every dismissive comment. Every eye roll when I talked about my business ideas. Every sigh when I mentioned my goals. This was her final statement. Her way of cutting me off completely. My name is Amina Cole, and this is the story of how that single sentence shaped the next 8 years of my life. I start replaying our history, searching for clues. When did she stop believing in me? Was it gradual, or did I miss a specific moment? I remember being 16, showing her my first website design. She glanced at it for 3 seconds and said, "That's nice, honey," before returning to her phone. I remember being 19, telling her about a freelance client who paid me $500. She frowned and asked, "Is that even legal?" Every achievement was minimized. Every goal was questioned. But I kept trying, kept hoping she'd eventually see my potential. I realize now that she'd already made up her mind about me years ago. That dinner wasn't the beginning of her disappointment. It was just the first time she said it out loud. The moment she stopped pretending. I think about my brother, Cameron. He's a lawyer. She brags about him constantly, shows his photos to everyone, funds his lifestyle without hesitation. Meanwhile, I'm the family embarrassment. The one who doesn't have a real career. I flash back to a family dinner 3 years earlier. Cameron had just passed the bar exam. My mother threw him a party, catered food, champagne, speeches. She stood up and toasted him, tears in her eyes, calling him her pride and joy. I was there too, sitting at the far end of the table. I'd just landed my first major client, a contract worth $3,000. I tried to share my news. My mother smiled politely and said, "That's nice, sweetheart," then immediately turned back to Cameron. Someone asked what I did for work. Before I could answer, my mother jumped in. "Oh, Amina's doing some computer stuff. Freelance things. We're hoping she finds something stable soon." The way she said it. Like my work was a phase I'd grow out of. Like I was playing pretend while Cameron had a real job. I stopped trying to share my wins after that. What was the point? She'd already decided I wasn't worth celebrating. The public humiliation is what destroys me most. It wasn't just her words. It was the silence that followed. 20 people heard her say I'd never amount to anything. Not one person spoke up. Not one person said, "Hey, that's too harsh." My aunt avoided eye contact. My uncle cleared his throat and changed the subject. A cousin nodded slightly, like she agreed. That silence validated everything my mother said. It told me they all thought the same thing. I was the family failure, and everyone knew it. Days later, I run into my aunt at the grocery store. She gives me a pitying smile and says, "Your mother just wants what's best for you, honey." I stare at her, waiting for an apology that never comes. She pats my arm and walks away. That's when I realize they'll never see me differently. In their eyes, I'll always be the disappointment. The one who couldn't measure up. 2 weeks after the dinner, I discover she's removed me from everything. I try to schedule a dentist appointment and find out I'm no longer on the family insurance. I call my mother. "Did you take me off the insurance?" There's a pause. "You're 25, Amina. You need to handle your own life now." No warning. No conversation. Just cut off. I check my bank account and realize the small monthly deposits she'd been sending, help with rent, groceries, have stopped. Again, no discussion. Just silence and action. I call Cameron. "Did Mom tell you she cut me off?" He sighs. "She mentioned it. She thinks you need tough love." Tough love. That's what they're calling it. Not cruelty. Not abandonment. Tough love. I hang up and stare at my bills, panic rising in my chest. I have $300 to my name. Rent is due in 2 weeks. And I'm completely alone. A month later, I'm at a coffee shop when I overhear a phone call. My mother's voice carries across the room. I freeze, hidden behind a bookshelf. She's talking to someone, probably a friend. "Amina's going through a difficult phase right now," she says, her tone dripping with concern. "She's always been a bit unfocused, you know. Unstable. I've tried to help but she doesn't listen." My blood runs cold. Unfocused. Unstable. I'm working 16-hour days, building a business from scratch. She continues. I think she resents Cameron's success. It's hard for her to see him doing so well while she's struggling. I just hope she figures things out before it's too late. She's rewriting history. Creating a narrative where I'm jealous, difficult, and lost. A story that erases my efforts and paints her as the patient, suffering mother. I leave the coffee shop before she sees me. I sit in my car, shaking with rage. She's not just cutting me off. She's erasing me. Replacing the real me with a version that fits her story. Rock bottom isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It's eating ramen for the 5th night in a row because that's all you can afford. It's lying awake at 3 a.m., wondering if you'll make rent. It's pretending everything's fine when people ask how you're doing. I move out of my apartment and crash on a friend's couch. I take any job I can find. Data entry, website fixes, graphic design for $20. I work constantly but the money never feels like enough. Some nights I sit in the dark and wonder if my mother was right. Maybe I'll never amount to anything. Maybe I'm fooling myself. But then I remember her face. The certainty in her voice. The way she humiliated me in front of everyone. And something hardens inside me. I'm not doing this to prove her wrong. I'm doing this to survive. But if proving her wrong is a side effect, I'll take it. One night, exhausted and terrified, I almost call her. My phone is in my hand, her number pulled up. I'm one tap away from begging for help, from admitting I can't do this alone. Then I remember her words. You will never amount to anything. I remember the silence at that dinner table. The way she erased me from the insurance without a word. I put the phone down. If I call her now, she wins. She gets to be right. She gets to say, "I told you so." I'd rather sleep in my car than give her that satisfaction. So I don't call. I don't text. I don't reach out. I disappear completely. And that silence becomes my first act of power. My first real attempt at building something bigger collapses. I land a contract with a small startup, promising to build their entire website infrastructure. I work for 2 months, pouring everything into it. Then they run out of funding and can't pay me. I lose $8,000 in expected income. I sit in my friend's living room, staring at my laptop, feeling like the ground just opened beneath me. No safety net. No family to call. No one to tell me it'll be okay. Just me, alone, wondering if my mother's prediction is coming true. For 3 days, I can't get out of bed. My friend brings me food and doesn't ask questions. On the 4th day, I force myself to sit up. I open my laptop. I start again. What else can I do? I take jobs no one else wants. I fix broken websites at 2 a.m. I write code for companies that don't know my name. I learn skills through free online courses, watching tutorials until my eyes burn. I teach myself advanced programming languages. I study digital marketing, business strategy, user experience design. I become invisible, just another freelancer in the online marketplace. But I also become unstoppable. Every rejection makes me sharper. Every failure teaches me something. I stop caring about approval. I stop waiting for applause. I just work. Quietly. Relentlessly. Building something no one can see yet. 6 months pass. Then a year. My income slowly climbs. $50 a day. Then 100. Then 200. I'm not rich. But I'm surviving. And for now, that's enough. I stop checking social media, but sometimes I slip. I see photos of family gatherings. Birthday parties. Holiday dinners. Everyone smiling, arms around each other. I'm not in any of them. There's no explanation for my absence. No one asks where I am. They've simply erased me. My mother posts a photo of Cameron's engagement. The caption reads, "So proud of my son. My greatest blessing." I stare at those words. My greatest blessing. Singular. Not my children. Not my family. Just him. I close the app and don't open it again for months. They've decided who matters. And I'm not on that list. Fine. I'll build a life where their approval doesn't matter. I overhear a family friend at the supermarket. She's talking to someone about me. I heard Amina's doing some online thing now. Her mother says she's struggling to find direction. I stand frozen in the cereal aisle, listening. It's sad, really. She had potential, but she never applied herself. My mother's version of me has spread like a virus. She's told it so many times, even strangers believe it. Even people who don't know me have opinions about my failures. The lie has become the truth. I want to walk over and correct her. Tell her I'm building a 6-figure business. That I'm thriving. But I don't. Let them believe what they want. One day the truth will be undeniable. 2 years after that dinner, I land my first major success. A tech company hires me to overhaul their entire digital infrastructure. The contract is worth $50,000. I finish the project in 3 months. They're thrilled. They offer me a retainer, asking me to stay on as a consultant. I celebrate alone in my apartment, which is no longer my friend's couch but my own place. I don't tell my family. What would I say? They've already decided who I am. Telling them about my wins would just invite more dismissal. So I keep it private. My success is mine. They don't get to minimize it. They don't get to take credit for it. This victory belongs only to me. 7 years pass. I stop being a freelancer and start a company. I hire a small team. We specialize in digital transformation for mid-sized companies, taking outdated systems and modernizing them. The work is challenging, exhausting, and deeply satisfying. My revenue crosses $1 million annually. Then 2 million. Then 5. I move into a real office. I speak at industry conferences. I build a reputation. But I keep a low profile. No flashy social media. No public bragging. Just steady, consistent growth. My family assumes I disappeared because I failed. They've probably told people I moved away, couldn't handle the pressure, gave up. Let them think that. The truth will find them eventually. I'm building something they can't ignore. An email arrives that changes everything. It's from a journalist at a major business publication. We're doing a feature on founders under 40 who are transforming their industries. Your name came up repeatedly in our research. Would you be interested in participating? I stare at the email for an hour. Part of me wants to say no. I've spent years avoiding attention, building quietly. But another part, the part that still remembers my mother's voice, wants the world to know. I schedule the interview. We talk for 2 hours. I tell them about starting with nothing, building from scratch, overcoming obstacles. I don't mention my family. I don't need to. The journalist is impressed enough by the work itself. 2 months later, she emails again. Your story will be our cover feature next month. Congratulations, Amina. You've built something remarkable. The article goes live on a Tuesday morning. My face is on the cover. The headline reads, Amina Cole, the quiet genius revolutionizing digital infrastructure. Inside, there's a 6-page spread. Photos of me in the office. Quotes from clients. Financial projections showing my company's growth. My net worth is estimated at $12 million. I read it 3 times, unable to believe it's real. My phone starts buzzing. Texts from colleagues, congratulations from clients, interview requests from podcasts. The story gets shared thousands of times. My name trends in business circles. There's no denying it now. No minimizing it. No rewriting it. I've succeeded. Loudly. Publicly. Undeniably. And my family is about to find out. The first message comes from my cousin. Is this you? She sends a screenshot of the article. My stomach drops. It's happening. I don't respond. Within an hour, my phone is flooded. Cousins. Aunts. Uncles. People I haven't spoken to in 8 years. Everyone suddenly wants to reconnect. Amina. So proud of you. I always knew you'd do great things. We should catch up. I delete the messages without responding. These people watched me get humiliated. They stayed silent when I needed them. Now they want to celebrate. No. They don't get to rewrite history. They don't get to pretend they supported me. Then my phone rings. It's my mother. I stare at her name on the screen, my heart pounding. I let it go to voicemail. She calls again. And again. On the 4th call, I answer. Hello. Her voice cracks. Amina. I saw the article. Silence. I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. I don't respond to her immediately. I let the silence stretch. Finally, I say, are you? My mother's voice trembles. Of course, I am. You're my daughter. I've always believed in you. The lie is so smooth, so practiced. Like she's convinced herself it's true. I know things have been difficult between us, she continues. But I want you to know. I always knew you had potential. I was just pushing you to be your best. Pushing me. She called me a failure in front of 20 people. She cut me off without warning. She told strangers I was unstable. But now, because there's a magazine cover, I have potential. I'd love to see you, she says. Maybe we could have dinner. I want to hear about everything you've been doing. Everything I've been doing. For 8 years. Without her. I think about all the nights I cried alone. All the time I almost gave up. All the moments she could have been there and chose not to be. I'll think about it, I say, and hang up. 3 days later, she shows up at my office. Unannounced. My assistant tells me there's someone here to see me. I walk into the lobby and there she is. Dressed nicely, makeup perfect, holding flowers. Surprise, she says, smiling like we're close. Like the last 8 years didn't happen. She hugs me before I can react. I stand stiffly, not hugging back. I wanted to see your office, she says, looking around with wide eyes. This is incredible, Amina. You've done so well. She's performing. Playing the proud mother for my employees to see. I lead her to my office and close the door. Why are you here? I ask. Her smile falters. I wanted to see you. To reconnect. After 8 years. She sits down, clasping her hands. I know I wasn't there the way you needed me to be. But I'm here now. And I want to make things right. Make things right. Like it's that simple. We sit in silence for a moment. Then she leans forward. I've been thinking, she says carefully. With your success, there are probably a lot of opportunities opening up. Networking, connections, things like that. I narrow my eyes. What are you asking? She hesitates. Well, Cameron's firm is looking to expand their corporate client base. I thought maybe you could introduce him to some of your contacts. It would be a great opportunity for him. There it is. The real reason she's here. Not to apologize. Not to repair our relationship. To extract value. And she continues, I've been volunteering with a women's business group. They'd love to have you speak. It would look great for both of us. Both of us. She wants access. She wants to attach herself to my success, to ride the wave she tried to drown. I lean back in my chair. Is that why you're here? For connections? She looks offended. Of course not. I'm here because you're my daughter. But her eyes tell a different story. I let the silence stretch. Then, calmly, I repeat her words back to her. You will never amount to anything. Her face goes pale. What? That's what you said. 8 years ago. In front of everyone. She shakes her head quickly. I never said that. You did. At that family dinner. You told me I'd never amount to anything, and then you cut me off completely. Her voice rises. That's not how it happened. You're remembering it wrong. I said you needed to take responsibility, that's all. I pull out my phone and open a voice memo. I'd recorded myself repeating her exact words the night after that dinner, capturing the memory while it was fresh. I press play. My own voice fills the room, recounting the moment word for word. My mother's face crumbles. She opens her mouth, then closes it. The denial dies on her lips. I was trying to motivate you, she whispers. That's not motivation, I say quietly. That's cruelty. She starts crying. Real tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry, she says. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I was scared you'd fail, and I handled it badly. But I'm here now. Can't we move past this? I study her face. Part of me, the part that's still that 25-year-old girl, wants to forgive her. Wants to believe she's genuine. But I know better now. I've made my peace with what happened, I tell her. I've forgiven you, in my own way. But forgiveness doesn't mean giving you access to my life. Her tears stop. What does that mean? It means I've moved on. I don't need your approval anymore. I don't need you in my corner. I built this without you, and I'll continue without you. She stands up, anger flashing. I'm your mother. You stopped being my mother 8 years ago. The words hang between us. She realizes she's lost control of the narrative. She can't rewrite history. She can't claim credit. I succeeded despite her, not because of her. And everyone knows it now. Over the next few weeks, my family tries everything. Cameron calls, asking why I won't help him. We're family, he says. I remind him he didn't defend me at that dinner. He has no response. Aunts and uncles send messages. Your mother is heartbroken. Can't you forgive her? I block their numbers. They don't get to decide when I heal. My mother posts on social media, a vague message about difficult family situations, and hoping for reconciliation. Her friends comment with sympathy. Someone shares an article about entitled children who abandon their parents. The narrative is shifting. Now I'm the villain. The ungrateful daughter who won't forgive. I don't respond. I don't engage. Let them think what they want. The people who matter, my team, my clients, my real friends, know the truth. The family loses control of the story. They can't erase my success. They can't rewrite the past. I won without them. And that reality is undeniable. 8 years after my mother told me I'd never amount to anything, I stand in my office, looking out over the city. My company is thriving. My team is talented and loyal. I'm respected in my industry. I've built a life I'm proud of. My mother still calls sometimes. I don't answer. Not out of anger but out of peace. I don't need her validation. I don't need her approval. I don't need anything from her. She's left with the echo of her own words and no place in my future. My success didn't punish her. My peace did. Because while she's still trying to control narratives and manage appearances, I'm free. Free from her expectations. Free from her judgment. Free from needing her to see my worth. I became everything she said I couldn't be. Not for her. Not to prove her wrong. But for myself. And that's the sweetest victory of all. I walk away from the window and get back to work. There's always more to build. More to create. More to achieve. Not because I have something to prove. But because I love what I do. And I'm just getting started.